Hello, good afternoon. Welcome back to my channel. It's good to be back. Today is going to be my pile of shame, or I guess we could say I started a book, put it down, and then I never picked it up again. It's not because I wasn't enjoying the books, but we'll see. I'll give you some reasons, and then some of them I just put them down, never picked them up. And also, I would like to acknowledge that I am filming this on unceded First Nation territory. It's always good to acknowledge that in our current day in affairs. So, I have a few books to get through. We'll try and get this done quickly. So here we go. No particular order. First book. It's a fantasy book by Gabriel K. It's called Under Heaven. I almost finished it. I got there to the back of it. It was quite a lengthy book. I got to page 382. And it's kind of a historical fantasy set in China. And it's in regards to this gentleman that received some white horses, and they're quite sought after, and so he has to go and get them, and there's people trying to kill him and get his prize. I know the description's a bit vague, but it's been a long time since I read this. So again, there's book number one. The other book, it's Inheritance by Christopher Paolini. This one, I didn't get too far into it. I got to page 236. So this is the fourth one in the series. I think I was just I put it down probably because I was getting too much of the world. Right after a while, if you read a bunch of books all in a row, you kind of get tired of the world after a while, and the characters and that kind of thing. So I would say it's reader exhaustion, and that's the only reason why I put it down. The next one is a series of graphic novels. It's March by John Lewis, Andrew Aiden, Nate Powell. So this is the civil rights march. And it's quite actually nice. Like, the graphics are really nice. And it does, it hits a really hard subject. And it's done in a way where you're able to get into the world. You're able to see what happens. It will make you angry. And, kind of questioning, why is this still happening? One of the big things with John Lewis was non-violent protests. So the stuff that they had to go through, that some people would have just exploded, being violent, but for him that was very important, because that way it would kind of turn the tables on the authorities, on white people, saying like, they're the aggressors, we are not. So I would highly recommend this. I got to the second one, and then I just haven't continued to the third one, but it's definitely on my TBR list. Next one is a thriller, The Woman in Cabin 10 by Ruth Ware. I'm not too much of a thriller reader. I got to chapter 15, and as you can tell, I didn't get too far in, but it was just not grabbing me. I wasn't seeing too much of the thriller aspect, of tension, the waiting what's gonna happen. There is some things in here that I was like, oh, okay, I guess I could continue reading this, but not enough to kind of continue reading. So this might end up being a DNF eventually. I'll give it another chance. So again, this one is a bit of a heartbreak. I bought this book at an author event. So it was done at Munro's Books in Victoria. Got to ask the author questions, got to sign the book. It's a very interesting concept. It's kind of like a Western detective, London, and I think I put this down. I didn't get too far into the book. I got to page 18. I forgot to mention this is by Gaslight by Stephen Price. The reason why I put this down is that the dialogue doesn't have the quotations around it, so you never know who is talking, if this is dialogue, internal dialogue, or just kind of like a general commentary. So it kind of took me out of the story because I wasn't quite seeing if it was talking or just, like I said, part of the story. So I'll have to give it another chance, but we'll see what happens. Next book is Egg and Spoon by Gregory Maguire. He's done the series Wicked, and I love that book. This one is set in Russia, so you get kind of like the coldness and it's very atmospheric. I only got to page 60, so not too far in either. And again, it was kind of just I put it down and then never picked it up. Some other things came up. I picked up another book. I do want to continue this one because I was enjoying what I was reading so far. This one, it's called Round Ireland with a Fridge by Tony Hawks. This one is very funny. So it was done on a dare. So this gentleman was out in the pub with his buddies, and they kind of just like said very, as a joke, I bet you can't go around Ireland hitchhiking with a fridge. And in Europe, the fridge are kind of like the little truck fridge that you would see here. So it's like a little fridge. And he was like, I'll take that bet. Let's go for it. And so he buys himself a fridge and then starts hitchhiking around Ireland and meets a bunch of characters, has adventures, and it was quite enjoyable. I liked reading it. I think I got to page 52. I was enjoying it, and I don't know why I put it down. I just put it down and never picked it up. This one, it's called Black Tower by Louis Bayard. This one is the Black Tower in Paris, so it's kind of like a prison or something like that. This one I didn't get too far either. Got to page 22. I'm not quite sure why I put it down. I think it was just one of those like, oh, I have a little bit of time, let's pick it up, I'll read it, and then put it down. Never picked it up again. So next one, Binti, the complete trilogy by Nnedi Okorafor. So this one, it's the 3 books in one binding. So I've read book 1, I started book 2, and this one, I think I had just started book 2. So I didn't get too far in. It's a fantasy, or I would say sci-fi. This lady, she gets selected to go to an elite academy, and on the way to the planet and the academy, her ship gets invaded by like looks like jellyfish aliens, and things ensue and that kind of thing. I really enjoyed it. I like sci-fi. The aliens were I've never encountered kind of a jellyfish type alien. Usually they're always kind of humanoid. So this one was refreshing to see a different type of alien, and I enjoyed it. I just have to continue reading it. And this one, Scavenge the Stars by Tara Sims. This one I got to page 55. This one was a bit, I couldn't really get into it, so it was kind of just I'm not in the mood for this, I'll put it down and I'll pick it up some other time, and I just haven't picked it up again. I believe this is kind of like pirate inspired merchants, that kind of thing, where you get indentured servants, you work on ships to reduce your time, but of course the captains and that kind of thing, any little petty excuse, they'll add time, they'll add a couple days and that kind of thing. So and then you have kind of a merchant family or kind of an elite family, and the boy is rebelling and that kind of thing. So it's This Savage Song by Victoria Schwab. So this one, I actually got really far into it. I got to page 340, 339. And I don't know why I didn't continue with this book. Again, it might have been just I put it down, never picked it back up, something else came up, a new book came, life got busy. Yeah, so I like the premise of it. I believe you have two worlds. When someone does a crime or something, the monster comes out of them and it creates kind of like a specter monster, and then you have someone that is a monster hunter and tries to get rid of them, kind of thing. Almost done. Next one, Wonder Woman Warbringer by Leigh Bardugo. So this is a series where some of the popular YA authors kind of reimagine superheroes. Mary Lou did Batman, and then there's a bunch of other authors as well too. So this one, I think I just had it on my bedside table, always intending to read it before I go to bed, but by the time I get to bed, I'm too tired and I don't pick it up, and it's always a question, oh, tomorrow I'll pick it up. So it is the story of, I believe it's Diana, Wonder Woman. Something happens to her island. It's a threat. She escapes, and then she's into our modern world. She's called the Warbringer, so there's people trying to capture her because then she's gonna launch, the Third World War. She's on a quest to try and get rid of this curse and meet some characters along the way. I got to page 174 in this one. So again, it's just a question of picking it back up and continuing. This one, House of Salt and Sorrow by Erin A. Craig. This one, it was a bit hard to get into. There was way too many characters, so many plot lines, and I was just getting a little too confused. I think I'd just have to sit down and reread it again. I got to page 28, so that kind of tells you it was a bit of a struggle to get into it. I believe it's a retelling of 12 Dancing Princesses. So it's there's a curse on this family where the daughters keep dying, and we're following one of the younger daughters. And I think eventually, she tries to get rid of this curse or figure out what's happening and that kind of thing. So I think I just have to reread it and kind of push through it. A lot of my fellow booktubers love this book, and they said it's very atmospheric. It's happening in a castle beside the sea, and it's always stormy and rainy and that kind of thing. So maybe when it's winter, when there's a winter storm here, I should pick this up. Crier's War by Nina Varela. This one, I was really getting into it. I didn't get too far, but I really did enjoy it. I got to page 40. So this one, I think, again, is just a question of I was really enjoying it. I put it down, never picked it up. It was one of my bedside table reads as well, too. But I was really enjoying it. It has a bit of kind of like a cyborg feel to it, and yeah, I'm into that kind of stuff, and I just need to pick it back up. This one, Wolf by Wolf by Ryan Groudon. This one, I really love it. It's about a motorcycle race between Germany and Tokyo. So it's a reimagining of history if the Axis powers had won World War II. So there's lots of intrigue, and the Nazi regime has taken over the world, and you have some rebels. You're following one girl. She is able to shapeshift into other people, and she's entered this race because the winner of this race gets to meet Hitler in person, and her mission is to kill him. Fast pace, there's action, a little bit of intrigue and spy, and it kind of goes back in time a bit when she was in a concentration camp, and then it jumps to current day in the book. Motorcycles, I ride motorcycles, so of course I had to pick this up. I got to page 326. It's just one of those books where I put it down, I really want to finish it, I just haven't picked it up. And last book, The Toll by Neal Shusterman. So this one I got to page chapter 18, so page 198. The first one, Scythe, and the second one, Thunderhead. I flew through those books. I recommended to my friend. She flew through those books. Like, I couldn't get enough. I had to send my husband out to get the second book while he was at work because I couldn't not have it after I finished Scythe. So the story is, they call it a utopia dystopia. So in the world, there are no more diseases, no more hunger, poverty, anything like that. The only way that people die is this group of scythes. They have quotas to fulfill during the year. Some of them are methodical researchers. You know, for an example, there's this amount of people that die in car crashes a year, and so they will go and kill in a population. Okay, if there's 3 people that die in a car crash, they'll go and kill 3 people, that kind of thing. There's one that specializes in mass murders, so they'll just get a whole mall and kill them. There's corruption, of course. People are after power. This whole planet is governed by an AI, and so there's a lot of intrigue. It's fun. This is the conclusion and third one in the series. The only reason why I haven't devoured this book is you follow two of the main characters and then a character that you've been kind of following, but it switches between the two. It also switches between past and present. And since the years are not numerical, they're by decades, or what's the word I'm looking for? So like, you know, it's the year of the jaguar, and then it's the year of the horse, and the year, that kind of thing. So you never know which one it came first, or which one is current. So without being able to chronologically follow the timeline, you don't know, oh, are we present, or is this an event that happened, you know, previously, that kind of thing. So I think I just have to just get back to it and kind of maybe make notes as to, okay, this is the present, this is the past. But I do want to continue the series and finish it. Like I said, the first 2 books, you fly through them, and it was a really good series. Okay, that's all the books. Oh, no, I have 2 more. I forgot my little pocketbooks. This one, The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss, is, you know, kind of, if you're into fantasy, this is one of the books that people will ask you, have you read this? Have you read this? It's so good, you have to read it. I'm at page 631, so I'm almost done. I started reading this when I was going to physio. I had an injury, so during my treatment, I was able to have 45 minutes of just me reading instead of being on my phone. I was like, oh, I'll bring a book, and it fit in my purse. And since physio has ended, I haven't picked it back up again. I enjoyed the book, but it's not one of my favorites. So I'll pick it up just so I could say I finished it. And it's, you know, to me it wasn't the greatest. If this is your favorite, that it's your favorite. Everything's not for everyone, right? So, but you follow this this gentleman that stumbles into a pub, and now he's telling his life story. So there's a second one, and the author's coming out with a third one after, you know, a decade of hiatus. So this first book is the first day where he's retelling his life, and then the second book is now like the next day, and he's continuing on his story kind of thing. So I'll finish it just so I can say I finished it. And then just the last one is Grimspace by Aguirre. So this one, I just have it in my work bag. Anytime I have a little break or I feel like picking up a book, I just pick this up. I'm only at page 122. It's a sci-fi, and it's this woman where she's kind of like I would say a navigator teleporter. So she plugs into the ship, and she's able to teleport you to the next planet, next system, whichever. And there's only a few in this world, but the more you use your powers to teleport, hyperspace, all that kind of stuff, you start going mental. And yeah, so it's just a bunch of, you know, space cowboys and that kind of thing. And yeah, so it's good. It's just, you know, something to distract you and read when you have a little bit of time. Okay, now I'm done. There's all my books. That's a lot of books. If you like this video, thumbs up, subscribe. I'll put up another video for you to check out. I also need your help. Tell me in the comments which one I should prioritize and try and finish. And also, what's on your pile of shame? Let me know. Okay, that's all for today. We'll see you next week. Bye.